Ding, ding.
Okay. Here we go. Training level 1. So first of all, I want to thank everyone who's been giving me these shirts. Let's say, of course, the bottom part, and maybe 3 people. I've gotten several of them now ever since I mentioned or showed this quote in a video. People keep sending them to me, which I don't mind at all. So I want to thank Tracy, April, Trish. I know I'm forgetting a name. I'm blanking on a name at the moment. I'll think of it. It's early. I haven't had my coffee though, so my brain should be working. Anyway, I like this shirt a lot. I went to the coffee shop again this morning with it on, and I wondered if people will read it and think that I'm really not friendly. I don't know. This video is again a compilation of some stuff that I've been taking over the course of, the last day since the last video. I've been very, very happy to just be spending my days doing what I want. So, because I know I can feel that feeling is building up now, because I know I have shows that are on the books that are coming up, and I know how fast time goes, and they're going to be here before I know it. So I'm starting to feel that little build-up of pressure, like I gotta get going, I gotta get motivated, I gotta get myself prepared so that I'm ready for these shows, and of course I'm not at all. I'm sitting here in the morning of, I have no idea what the date is. Oh, it's the 10th. I can see it right on my computer. Is that awful? My life has no structure or order to it. And, well, it has a little bit, but not enough, because obviously I often don't know what day of the week it is until I look at the calendar. Of course, that hasn't ever really changed in my life. I'm very blessed that I have had the kind of life where I've had a lot of free time. But because I've always been traveling and flying and always knowing that something was coming up where I was going to be away, I've also always been very conscious of the passing of time. And in truth, I've been conscious of the passing of time since I was a little kid. So I've always been very, greedy with my time, I would have to say. I have so many things that I love to do, so many different interests, whether artistic, and they kind of all seem to revolve around something artistic. And whether it's from making music to remodeling a house, it's all a little bit creative and artistic. But I have so many of those interests that I don't ever get bored. And I feel sorry for people that do. There are so many things in life to do that no one really should be bored. And even in this day and age when everything is online, anything you want to learn about or try or do, there's an online course or even just tutorials for you to watch, to do pretty much anything. And in fact, my son one day just informed me that he's learning Romanian. So he's doing this online course, and he's speaking Romanian now. He's loving it. He's way into it. He has an ancestry that goes back to Romania. So he just decided that was one of the things he wanted to do. But that's my point. There's so much to do that really we shouldn't be bored. I have different creative projects that I have a million of them going that aren't even finished. Things that I've found online, watching other YouTubers who happen to do this form of art or that form of craft or this kind of thing. And I just want to try it. So I don't finish things sometimes. I have a lot of them started, and they're fun. They're all fun. Slowly at some point I finish each one, but it takes a while. I'm just one of these people, I jump around. I don't know why. It's frustrating. Like, I will paint my entire house and then leave one corner of it. I think sometimes it's a psychological thing. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I guess I just want to move on to the next thing. I had a hard time waking up though, because when I don't know if you're like this, but if it's been raining or it is raining, it makes me sleep. So I've already had a very large cup of coffee from my coffee shop, and now I'm having that really good tea that I love, because I want some energy. Are you done? Hey, what's enough? What do you think about that bark that my dog has? I have a... Rocky has a bark, but it's yippy, more yippy and kind of annoying. Shadows is just bone rattling when he gets going. I have neighbors on either side of me that have little dogs, and the one on that side, it's a tiny little bark and hardly ever hear it. Yet when they go to the fence line, my dog wants that dog to play with him, so he just booms his big bark, but they don't care. It's just every once in a while that'll happen, and he eventually quits. My neighbor on the other side is fairly new, within the last year and a half, I think. And she's got two small dogs that are the same size that have pretty loud barks for small dogs, kind of the yippy kind. And one of them has issues. Needs to see a therapist. Hey, shh, shh. Rocky agrees. He just wants to go out. Will you be quiet? I'm talking here, hey? Stop! No, not yet. I'll get up in a minute. Anyway, the one dog barks normally, and no one hears a noise. It barks a little bit. The other one, it just barks one bark after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. The other day, or actually 2 days in a row, 6 a.m., the dog was barking, and it sounds like it was right in my bedroom. It woke me up. I didn't do anything the first day, but when it happened the second day, on the weekend, I thought, oh gosh, 6 a.m. So I texted her, but it turns out she wasn't there. She had a caretaker staying there watching the dog, and I think I don't know why she didn't hear it. That dog was out for half an hour barking like that before they finally fixed it. But yeah, barking dogs can sometimes be a bone of contention between neighbors, but when I have a barking dog, we all have dogs, so we're all good. We all work it out. They're worth it. They're worth the barking. I've been working really hard the last few days to get into the mindset that I am going to be going back to work. It's so hard. I don't know why. I've been off for so long that I'm having a really hard time buckling down and thinking ahead to these shows, planning. But I have to start because it's going to be here tomorrow. You just get in this mindset that this time period where we're just home all the time is just going to go on and on and on. But, you know, knock on wood. But I have to start. I have to start thinking of the show. I have to start thinking of what I want to wear. I hate the whole clothing part of it. Can we just get that out there? I know that many of you come to my shows, and some of you probably think, that's a really cool outfit. And others think, what is she wearing? And you know what? I don't care, because I am so not a clothes person at all. My favorite store is a tack store where I can buy horse products. I will spend all my money at a tack store. You can barely get me in a clothing store. And I'm one of these, I go a couple times a year thinking, oh, I have nothing to wear. I have to go shopping. So then I go in and I just buy a bunch of stuff. Half of it's crap. Don't even want it anyway, bring it home. But I'm just not a clothes person. I'm never going to be, ever. I was for kind of a period of my life early on when I had record labels that were, you know, I'm sure pushing me more, and I was doing those record label photo shoots where they would bring the stylist, and the stylist would bring all these clothes, and most of the good clothes that I had all came from those sessions, because I would say, okay, I like that, I want to buy that, they did the shopping for me, and what they found was really nice, expensive, and good stuff, and it lasted me a long time. Now I just don't care. My idea of clothing is more fun. So what I do is I like to take an item that I find on the rack, and then I like to totally deconstruct it, put it all back together, and make it something performery. That to me is fun, because it's creative. Now, it's hit and miss. I'm sure sometimes the things I make are pretty cool, and other times people are looking at it like, again, what is she wearing? But at least I enjoy it. I enjoy that part of it, and that way I know that I'll be wearing something that no one else can possibly have because I made it. and I like it. I'll never forget one time I had done an outfit. I'm not going to say which one because some people maybe liked it and others didn't, but I really thought it was cool. And I have a friend who's very fashion conscious, and I was very worried about what he was going to say. And when he saw it for the first time, he didn't know that I had put it together, and he complimented me right away on the outfit, and I was like, you really liked it? I had to make sure he wasn't fooling with me. He said, no, it's great. So then I told him that I did it because I thought he must be kidding. But so for me, that's fun. I'd rather be creative and have fun and feel comfortable in what I'm wearing than go and buy some expensive thing that seems like such a waste of money. Clothes to me often seem like a big waste of money, and I know that's not putting anything on anyone else because clothes are a big part of people's lives, and that's all well and good. It's just not a part of my life. Same thing goes with, this hair. Some of you are really liking it and some are not. There was a comment after one vlog and I read it. The guy said, it was just gray hair, LOL, which to me meant that he really didn't like it. But I don't care because I like it. I actually really do like it. So it's going to continue, folks. So if you think I'm going to be coloring my hair again back to some fake brown or fake blonde, no. This is going to be what it is going to be. So all I'm telling you is get used to it. Actually, the interesting part is going to be when I go back to work, and I know that there's a good percentage of my fans who around the country who they don't go online. They don't watch the YouTube videos. They don't know what's been going on in my life. They don't know that I've been growing out my natural hair color. So when I walk out on that stage for the first time, I'm going to be thinking, I wonder what I'm going to get back, because I can feel an audience. I've been in front of them my entire adult life working, and I can feel the energy that's going on out there. So I don't even have to hear. I can kind of tell. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm so happy the sun is coming out. All right, I've had my tea. Time to get started on the day because there's a lot of things I want to do. I decided to have a second cup of tea. I had to have a second cup. It's so good. This tea, this kind of tea with this honey in it. Will you quit? Ugh, see? I gotta let him out. Hold on. Watch. Let's count how many minutes it takes before Shadow wants to come back in. What was I saying? This tea is so good, and with honey in it, it's amazing. I use honey in my coffee and my tea, which is why I now have to go buy some more, because now I am completely out. Speaking of honey, my coffee shop, I get honey in my coffee, and they always had the little packets, and then those disappeared, so you would tell them you wanted honey, and then they'd put it in. Well, the other day, actually a few weeks back, I noticed the price of coffee had gone way up, and I just didn't say anything. It's the price for living where I live. But then one day I went and got the coffee, and the girl said $3.75, $3.75 for a large coffee. So I paid that. It had gone back down because it had been up to $4.05. So I thought, well, that's weird. Price is just going up and down. The next day I went back, and it was $4.05. So, and this was a different lady. So I said, oh, the price was $3.75 yesterday. She said, oh, that's for the honey. And I was like, no, $3.25 is what, so 80 cents for a little swig of honey? That's what they were charging me. I couldn't believe it. So I said to her, well, okay, hold the honey and I will put my own in. I couldn't believe it. So I drive around with this in my car. Come on, get in here. You happy now? You happy now? I live a very farm girly, horse girly, earthy, do-it-yourself, fixer-upper, DIY kind of person on a farm. And the other half of me is an entertainer, and sometimes the two don't seem to fit together. But that's just me. I'm a dichotomy. Is that the word? I feel completely like that because I'm not an entertainer personality in my normal life. I'm completely not entertainment-like. I don't care about the fashion. I'm not driven by the career. I'm not driven to be famous anymore. I'm not driven by any of that. And then there's the go all day long and not talk to anybody and then talk your ear off. My sister will tell you I'm weird. She's told me I'm weird a few times. That's okay. I don't mind being weird. All right, I gotta get going. This talking is exhausting. Here, you want to bring the horses in? Yeah? You want to bring the horses in? Yeah. Let's get the horses. There they go, I should say. And now we should see the minis. I'm running up to the gate. Alright, I'm gonna put some grain in their stalls first. Shadow. Hey guys, relax. Rocky. Come on, bud. Come on, Hobbit. Shadow. 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 Okay, good boy. That's enough. That's enough. You're gonna get him, aren't you? Yes. You don't put up with that. They're in their stall. They feel more secure to fight back. Come here, buddy. Get this halter off you. Yeah. Hot. Around the ears. Come here. Hey. You ready? Come here. Put your big head over here. Come here. Watch out. Good boy. Come in, they'll eat the grain, they'll drink water, they'll have a little nap, and then I'll come down and ride. Fat she is. Oh my gosh, Breeze, what am I gonna do about you? You're so fat. You're so fat. Yes, you're so fat. You're so fat. And look at that nest. I have knocked it down 3 times. And they just keep putting it back. Like in a day they rebuild it, and I feel terrible, so I guess I'm just gonna leave it, even though I'm just so worried they're just gonna overheat up there again, but I don't know what else to do.
Ding ding.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so for those of you who don't know anything about dressage, I thought I would do a little voiceover to try to explain some of it to you. To the untrained eye, to the non-horsey person, especially at these lower levels that I'm starting at, it looks like just riding, and you might not know what's going on, and you may not quite understand why it's not actually easy to, you don't just get on a horse and have it naturally move in this sort of round, collected way where it's using itself well, using its back, pushing from behind, pushing up through the shoulders, and building all the right muscles. So I will try to explain a little bit about that. First of all, this is a picture of a standard size dressage ring, which is 20 by 60 meters. And it has letters placed around the ring. I don't know the history of why the letters are all random like this. Why it just isn't A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, from the lower levels, the only letters that I'm really concerned about are at either end, A and C, and then on the sides, the M, the B, and the F, and the H, the E, and the K. It's not until you get into the higher levels that you really use the other letters anyway. And of course, X is in the very middle. At the higher levels, with all the different advanced movements, all these other letters come into play. But for me, since I'm only at training level, there are many different levels. It starts with intro level, test A and B, then it goes to training 1, 2, and 3, first level, second level, third level, fourth level, and on up all the way to Grand Prix. And I'll be riding training level 1 and 3 this time. At the higher levels, there are more than one there's more than one judge. There'll be judges sitting on the sides. But at lower levels and a lot of shows, they just have judges sitting at C. Riders enter at A at the end, and the judge sits at C, so he can see how straight you come down the center line. One of the things to keep in mind at this level is really just you want the horse balanced, which means you don't want too much weight on the front legs. You want them to be carrying more weight on the back legs so they don't look like they're running downhill. You want an uphill looking horse that's pushing from behind. Now Max, the reason I thought he'd be good for dressage, unlike Eddie, who's very butt high and heavy on his front end, although he can be trained in dressage, he would benefit from it, and he would learn to carry himself a little more that way. He doesn't move that way naturally, where Max does naturally move level, balanced, and slightly uphill when he's moving, which is great. But we're always working to keep them balanced. And if you look closely, you might be able to see the times when he is really balanced as opposed to when he's fallen a little bit onto his forehand. Okay, well, it's probably too complicated for the majority of you, but let's just dive in, and I will talk over my tests. Even though it goes by quickly, I'll try to get in as much as I can. Okay, so here we go. So we enter in a rising trot, which is a posting trot at A, and we're heading down towards C. And you want to stop at X. You want him to stand as squarely as possible, his feet even. Then you salute the judge, and then you carry on at a working trot towards C. Try to stay as straight as possible. Try to go as deep into the corner as you can. And right here at H, we're going to cut across the diagonal. And in the middle, I'm going to change my posting. So I'll sit for one stride and then change, so that you always want to be posting when the right leg's going forward. I want to be going up in this direction. All right, here we make the turn. And then at A, I'm going to cut my corner a little more, because now I'm going to be doing 3 equal, it's a serpentine, so it's 3 equal loops across the full length of the arena, and changing the bend of the horse. Meaning when I get to the middle, I change my posting and I bend his body to be going in the other direction. And he's doing really well. He's keeping himself very balanced. You can see how he looks light on his feet. He doesn't look like he's heavy on his forehand. He's carrying his head and neck. And at A, between here, in this corner, you change to canter. Go down the long side. Then at B, which is in the middle, then you make a 20-meter circle. And he's doing pretty well. He falls a little more on his forehand in the canter because he's not as strong, but he's getting there. Last show, he couldn't even keep his head down, so much, much better. In this corner, we're preparing to go to the trot at A. Did that fairly well. And then we go right to a walk. Now we walk straight on, and we keep an active working walk. Max has actually a very nice walk. to make sure his head stays up, and then he keeps pushing from behind and doesn't let his head sink. Okay. Right here at E, now we are heading across that diagonal in the free walk, and he's supposed to be taking his head forward and down and staying in contact with the bit. The rein shouldn't be flapping. And I'm subtly swinging and trying to indicate, okay, stretch out and walk, and now I'm going to be gathering up my reins at M into the working walk. And here at C, go into working trot, and immediately start the serpentine in the other direction, so I don't want to go too deep into that corner. That's the one I always forget about. Again, I'm changing my posting diagonals in the middle, bending his body in the direction we need to be going. You want to hit the top of the curve right at the letter. Be as accurate as you can in the serpentine. Make sure you're in the right post. Here, hitting the wall in the right spot. And it's not exactly on letters here. Now here at A, between A and F, we're going to go to canter. And down the long side, it's just a reverse of what we did before in the other direction. His head comes up a little bit there, but he's staying pretty good, pretty round. I mean, for him, this is a pretty good canter. Coming down long side again. Try to ride into the corner. And prepare to trot again at C, right in front of the judge. By the way, that is Maddie. That's Jake's girlfriend. He calls her Red. You can see why. Okay, and here we're coming down, and at E, we're going to do a stretchy trot, it's called. Now I let the reins slip, and he should be pulling them forward. He's starting to a little bit there. Now he's taking the head down and forward, but staying balanced. Here he does it the best, right there. And now between here and E, I'm supposed to be taking up the rein, getting him back into the frame of a working trot, and going down to the corner, trying to stay deep into the corner, make him bend around it, and then here we bend and we try to come right at A, right straight down towards C, because again, you're always being judged on how straight you do the line. And you trot and halt at X, and hopefully it is square, and it looks pretty square. And then you salute and you're done. It is another morning. I stayed up way too late last night, so I am now going to get some coffee because I really need it. Coffee, coffee, here I come. Doo-da, doo-da. Alright, here I go. At least we got a nice morning. It seemed like spring doesn't want to come this year. I don't know why. Also, no hummingbirds yet. My mom was telling me about a woman that she saw on YouTube that had over 100 hummingbird feeders, so she had thousands of hummingbirds. My mom didn't remember what state she was in, but I thought, well, she's hogging all the birds. Not fair. Just rode, cleaned the barn, fed the horses, now it's beer time. It's absolutely gorgeous out, so I need a beer. Beer on the deck. I tell you what, doesn't get a whole lot better than this. Wow. We've had cold weather, but it is absolutely gorgeous right now. It's cool, but warm enough. Beautiful. Just finished riding, feeding the horses, cleaned the barn a little bit, and now I am kicking back with a beer and a really good apple on the deck. Got just enough time to relax before the first lesson starts. Voice lesson, that is. This is it, I'm telling you. You gotta enjoy the moments that are perfect. These are pretty perfect. I wish my phone camera could capture the beauty that I'm looking at right now. It never really does, which is disappointing. It's absolutely gorgeous. There is nothing prettier in life than Mother Earth and nature. It just doesn't. Cheers, everybody. I'm also thirsty, so I'm drinking water. It's a good apple. It's one of the perks of eating outside. Feels so good. You hear that bird? I don't know if that's the one or not. Oh. No, that was a cardinal. We like those. It's a bird I've never heard here ever, but I think it's made a nest in my neighbor's yard over there. And the bad thing is, this is the side of the house where my bedroom is, and I hear this bird. If you are a bird expert, please help me out, because I really want to know what this bird is. I'll put the sound, and I recorded it. I think I got a pretty good recording of it, so take a listen, and if you can tell me what it is and post a picture of it up here on Facebook or YouTube, everywhere I've posted this video. I really like to know. And then maybe tell me how I can get rid of it. Oh, it's terrible. It's so annoying. It's not like the nice little chirps and tweets and things that we hear, like this, not rhythmic, kind of just chirpy sound that's always going on, which is beautiful. This is a rhythmic, annoying sound that just gets on my nerves. I don't know why. I can't sleep if I have things that are rhythmic, which is why I can't have music playing to sleep. I can have talking really low that I can't understand, because talking is not regulated. It's not to a beat. If it's anything to a beat, I'm waiting for the next beat. I'm waiting for the next beat, and I can't sleep. Although I did one time. This is a Jekyll and Hyde tour story, the pre-Broadway tour that we did. On the days that we had the matinees, 2 days a week we would have a matinee, and of course we would all try to rest, and I would take a nap between the first show and the second show, and I would play Sting's Fields of Gold CD, and I could sleep to that. And I love this. It's not because the music is great music. For some reason, there's something about that particular track. I guess I trained myself. It's nap time now, and I put that on, put on my headphones, and I would sleep. And to this day, when I hear that music, I start to get a little sleepy. It's like a jungle here today. So loud. But the one bird I'm not seeing are hummingbirds. Where are the hummingbirds? If you are a bird expert and you can answer that for me, please do, because my feeder has just been there for weeks and weeks, and it's going down, but it's just dehydrating, so, or evaporating. It is a gorgeous day. Absolutely beautiful. It's going to rain later though, so I'm going to ride early to make sure I get that in. I gave Max the day off yesterday. I thought he needed it. So I'm going to ride him, today's Sunday. I'll ride him Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'm going to give him Thursday off. And then on Friday I go to the show. We get to ride and practice the day before the show starts on Saturday in the actual arena, so which is great because you'll get to get in there and see what it's like in the ring. If they have any flowers or any scary things for you to look at. And then the next 2 days is the show. So that's the plan. It feels really strange not to wear a mask. It's amazing. It's a little bit like what it feels like now when you get in the car and you're driving and you don't have your seatbelt on. It feels off somehow. And now, of course, we have to think about what the rest of our face looks like. The other thing I've been doing is I'm trying to take care of all the medical things that I've been putting off since the pandemic. I really didn't want to do any of it until I had been, got vaccinated. So I've been to the dentist. I'm at my favorite place. Not the dentist. Yeah, it's time now that I have my vaccine. I have to go to the dentist, so I hope I don't have any cavities. Yay! Happy, happy, happy! I have no cavities. I'm so excited. And I have very clean teeth. I'm really still gigglingly happy that I have no cavities. After going that long without going to the dentist, you know, you worry, but nope. No cavities for moi. And I'm surprised, considering all the candy. I've been eating quite a bit of candy during COVID. Never fun to go to the dentist, but I was really happy about the results of that one. And now I have booked, you know, all the other stuff that we put off, mammograms, doctor's appointments, anything that, you know, we do on a regular basis, because all of us, I think, a lot of us have been putting that off. And it's, as is evidenced by my friend, they had only put theirs off by 3 months from the 1-year appointment, and you know, it was an aggressive sort of cancer. Just as a little update on what's going on there, it is not in the lymph nodes, but they will need to do chemo and some radiation because it is a very aggressive, fast-growing cancer. So initially thought they were going to have to do it before surgery and after surgery, but no, that's not the case. So now it's just the surgery and then afterwards. So not the best news, because obviously they didn't want to have to go through that part of it, but still, again, optimistic because it doesn't appear to be in any lymph nodes. So, you know, hopefully everything will go well with that. But anyway, the point is, get to your, you know, checkups. If you've been putting them off like me, try to make a point of getting those done. Get some peace of mind. I also have another thing that you could possibly help me with. I don't know if any of you out there work for or know someone who works for or in any way affiliated with John Deere. Last summer I bought a new riding lawnmower, and after only a few uses the belt broke, and of course they fixed it for me. I had to bring it to a certified, I bought it through Home Depot, and I brought it to a certified repairman that Home Depot would accept, and they put the new belt on, didn't charge me. Well, it broke again on the second use this summer. So something's not right. And I want it replaced. I think I have a lemon. Like I said, I bought it through Home Depot. But I don't know if anyone has any connections in that area. You guys help me out with my, you know, my cable internet, and if you can help me out with that, that would be great, because it's a pain in the you-know-what dealing with companies and sometimes and being on hold and never getting to the right person, and something's not right with this machine, and you know, they're not cheap. They should work. I miss my old one that I bought 20-something years ago. That's the other thing. This would be what I would want above all else. When I first moved here in 1998, I bought a big riding lawnmower through John Deere, a great machine. It's still running. The hood's all off it, it's cracked, took it off, but the thing runs. And it had a 54-inch, I think, mower deck. It's the 345 model. They don't make the mower deck anymore, and it was so rusted out that last summer, that's the reason I bought this new one, because they don't make that mower deck anymore. So if any of you out there knows or has a 345 John Deere that doesn't run anymore, but the mower deck is good still, I will buy it from you. I will buy it for more than it's worth. Not the machine, I want the mower deck itself. If you could put it out there to your friends, send it out into the universe, because I know it's not going to be that easy to find one of these, but I know they're out there. I've been searching online, I haven't had any luck. It has to be, I think it's the 300 series, I guess, so it's because they make ones that look just like it, but it's the 100 series. It has to be from a machine that was, 20-something years old back then. Tells you how old I'm getting. They don't even make things for things I bought. So again, it's the John Deere 345 and the 54-inch mower deck, and I really, really would love to find one. Even if it's old and banged up a little bit, as long as the metal is usable, it can be repaired and fixed, because my old John Deere would just go through anything. It was so powerful. It's all hydraulic. This new piece of crap that I bought gets stuck. Jake had to push me out twice when I got stuck over a root. Couldn't even think I even have the power to get over it. I was so mad. Twice he pushed me out of where I was stuck, and then by the end of the day, just as I was about to finish the last little bit, the belt broke again. And yes, I like to mow my own lawn. I do it myself. So help me out if you can. I would be so thrilled if someone could find me one of these. Or if someone knows how to adapt them, you know, I don't know. I just know I want it back. I want the old days. I like the good old days. I know they say you're not supposed to look to the past, but the past was great in so many ways. I can't help it. I don't like things changing. Anyway, that's my rant. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you with the next one. Signing off. A lot of you probably wonder what this is in my backyard. Well, it's actually the roof of what was over this part of my deck and back. The stone building. The deck didn't used to be this big. It used to have this stone roof, this roof over the top of this stone part, and the deck only came up to it. When I wanted to build this structure like this, I had them just lift, they could lift the whole thing off because it's all on a big beam that goes all the way around on the bottom, and it's really well built. But one of these days, when I get around to it, I am going to put it up on like maybe 4-foot sidewalls, and then re-shingle and repaint it. And it's under this weeping willow that is a seedling that I put here, that started from that willow that I planted in the backyard 20-something years ago. Look how huge that thing is now. And a little seedling had gone into the ground, and I just stuck it here. I wasn't even planning to keep it there, but I forgot about it. And you know, these things around here, they grow like crazy. So it's here to stay. I also have grape vines, but I don't know, everything seems late. It's kind of cool. I don't know, maybe it's normal, but this is where the leaves are at this point. I have the dark blue grapes and red grapes. Look at the color of this azalea. Isn't that beautiful? And of course here we have the rare and captivating dandelion. I'm just inserting one little bit here. Today was interesting because I helped save a mother duck and her little ducklings. Had to be 10 or 12 of them. There were so many. It was a wood duck, I think. They crossed right in front of my road as I was going to the coffee shop this morning. I saw them in a line, and the cars were coming this way and us. And fortunately, the one coming stopped, and I stopped, and we waited, and they went across. But there was a stone wall on the other side. So the car that was on the other side, once they were over there, he left, but I waited, and because I was so worried about oncoming cars. And she was a little, kind of switching her directions, didn't know what to do. But then she started heading to an opening in a driveway, which would have led her off into the woods. So I just slowly stayed a little bit behind, herding these little ducks. And I had 4 cars lining up behind me, and I didn't care. I just kept doing it. And finally, some idiot in the back started honking. I didn't care, but they made it all the way and got in. So I was happy. And Jake will probably kill me for showing you this, but here's my little duckling. Don't tell him.